Hello. So, thank you for joining me here at Golden Keys Life Coaching. So, it's my page is relatively new. I'm gonna post, just little bits of wisdom here and there, things that I've learned along the way. Um, you will begin to learn me as well. But something I have been dealing with for quite some time in relationships and didn't realize it. And I just kind of want to share this little bit of wisdom with my single mothers, okay? My single moms. Um, I am a single mother. I have been married before for 12 years, some time ago, and been a single mom ever since. So I have two children who are adults, with my ex husband. And then I have two children after them who resulted of, trauma bonding, toxic relationships as I was kind of learning my way. Um, so there's three fathers in the mix. Okay. Hey, nobody's perfect, right? But anywho, so there is something I've noticed with my single moms, and I just want to take a second to talk to you for a minute because I understand the place where it comes from. But we got to really get a handle on this because it's doing a lot of damage to our children, more than you would think. Okay, more than I want to assume the average mother that does this is not doing it intentionally. They think they're doing it out of love, but it actually comes from a very damaged emotional space. um Parents, we only do what we know how. We can only do what we know. And a lot of us, especially in the Black community, do not take the time for our mental health. And when our mental health is in trouble, we don't take the time to take care of ourselves. We don't take the time to seek help for many, many, many reasons that goes back, you know, into slavery as to why, as a people, we don't do certain things. But I recall falling into this very briefly many years ago. And when I did it, it didn't feel right. It didn't sound right, and I understand why now. So I remember when I first joined Facebook, maybe like in 2009. I had three children then. My oldest two boys were young. My baby girl was only like 2. So I didn't want to do social media for a long time, and a good friend of mine talked me into it. So as I'm setting up, posting my pictures of my family and things like that, I'm struggling with the caption. What do I put at the bottom of this picture? And so I settled on, the picture of my two sons. And in the picture, they probably maybe was about maybe 8. My oldest son was maybe 8. No, he probably was like 10, maybe 9. And my other son um, was about 6, I'm thinking. So anywho, so the caption, I put my king and my prince, right? And I remember kind of looking at it even then. This is back in 2009, like, mm, whatever. Everybody else does it. It sounds good. Right now, these are the young men in my life. And so I'm so glad that I quickly settled out of that. Especially when the balance came of me being, you know, a girl mom, with my daughter. And then I also have a son after her as well. So, mothers, let me say this to you. And I have a tendency to be very direct in what I say, so I'm not intending to be offensive to anyone. There's a certain way that I talk that I don't know any other way to communicate other than just say certain things. But what I want to say to you today is get a life. Okay? My single moms, you got to get a life. We got to stop committing something called emotional incest. Okay? Just because, your child is not being sexually abused or physically abused, there is a type of emotional abuse that's being committed over and over and over, especially, it can happen in 2-parent homes, but especially single moms. We stop, listen, your son, he's not your king. Okay? He's not your prince. He's not your everything, the matching outfits with you and your little boy, or you and your son, or, the selfie pictures in the car where the energy, between you and your son looks more like, two people that are dating. I am a believer in energy, okay? I can sense energy, I can feel it, I can see it. And so I can see energetic dynamics between people, okay? And then, so I'm scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, and I'll see pictures, and it's just like, that looks kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? This mom is posing with her son. He's in the passenger seat, she's driving, or maybe he's driving. Either way, the dynamic between the two, the mother's pride looks more like she's proud of her man and not her son. Okay? So let me explain something to you. When we have our babies, moms, okay, regardless of the circumstances, when we become mothers, we are supposed to birth our children with the knowing that one day we have to let them go. Okay? Your child is not a possession. All right? And that's not love anyway. Love does not possess. Okay? Possessing someone is not love. All right? Love actually entails freedom. All right? And when you possess a person, you tend to want to control them. Okay, you want to control what their beliefs are. You want to control all their decision making. Like you fall into wanting to control them. And so what happens is that does not give him room to think for himself. It does not give him room to learn what works and what doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Failure is a part of life. He has to fail. Things have to go bad sometimes so that he can learn. Or, she can learn. There's some people that form very unhealthy emotional attachments to their daughters too. But I see it a lot with mothers and sons. So what I want to say to you today is stop calling your sons your king. Stop calling him and get a life. Okay? If you are raising a boy, it is your job as a parent, regardless of if his father's not there, or maybe his father's not the best example for him to be around, then that was your choice to have a child with a man as such. I had to take accountability for the type of men I was having children with. And so when these men showed themselves to be exactly who they always said they were, it was my fault that I didn't believe what I was seeing. I can't get mad at this man because he's being who he showed me he was. April, okay, I have to take accountability for who I let inside of my body, you know what I'm saying, mind, body, and spirit. Especially I allow whoever's DNA I allowed to be dropped off of me. That is partially my choice and my responsibility, and I'm responsible too. Okay? So, you have to tell yourself, okay, so he's not here, or he's not the best example for my son. We're not going to sit here and keep bashing him all day. We're not going to sit here with our girlfriends and get on Facebook about, oh, he ain't this, he ain't shit, blase skip, blah, and stalking him and his new family or his new girlfriend, and stalking the new baby on the way. That's neither here or there. What your next step should be, after accepting responsibility for your poor choice, okay, in a man or who's fathering your children, okay, whether you thought it was gonna, whatever you thought, you know what I'm saying, but I kind of have a hard time with that, because there was a lot of things that I went through in relationships where I seen it in the very beginning, but for whatever reason, April continued. I saw the red flags, but I just kept going. Other people even said things like, he may not be such a good idea, but I chose to keep going anyway for, whatever reason. So I have to be accountable for my choice. All right. I can't be mad at him forever. It wasn't, I did that as well. So if you're in a situation, his father's not around, or he's not the best example for him to be around, it is your job as a mother to put yourself in certain situations and environments where your child could possibly be mentored by another male who would be a good role model for him, whether that be a cousin, an uncle, or whatever. Have a talk with your brother and say, hey, listen, things didn't work out with me and so and so and so and so, but I don't want my son just out here. I'm not a man. We're not men. There's certain things, I don't care what you say, strong black woman, I get it because I'm a single mother. I get it. Very independent. But always been, lived in the projects for 7 years myself. Like, I get it, but it is your job to find men, okay, that are willing and that are capable to step in and be an example in the meantime while you're trying to attract a mate, okay? It is your job to get a life and attract a mate if that's what you want to do, or some kind of role model, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be a man in today's world, you know what I'm saying? If just a good person, with good masculine energy that can mentor and have accountability with your child, okay? While you're trying to figure your life out to get a permanent person in that child's life, because that child deserves somebody. Kids need both. Boys, we have to have our children with the knowing that we got to let them go. Like, one day this is going to be somebody's boyfriend or somebody's girlfriend. This is going to be somebody's husband or wife one day. This is going to be somebody's mother or father. So you're raising somebody else's mother or father. You're raising somebody else's boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife one day. So you have to raise them with the knowing that I have to instill everything I can into this child with the knowing that they got to leave me. You should not take the stance of everything being under your control to the point where you're crippling them. You enable the most disservice you can do for your child is to not is to teach them. The greatest disservice you can do to your child is not teach them how to live on their own or be independent when you're not there. If life goes the way we all want it to go, you're not going to be there forever. Okay? I won't be on this earth forever. So it is my goal to teach my children in a way where they will be able to live and thrive, not just survive, but thrive when I'm not around anymore. Okay? I need to place my sons in certain activities, community organizations, around certain family members, or I need to meet somebody that my children can be around to be that, that fatherly figure or that grandpa figure, till I figure out my love life. Okay? And the same thing for our girls. Our boys, they learn relationship from their parents first, of course, at home. You know what I'm saying? They learn how to love a woman by watching how their mother's being treated. So they need to see their mother being loved, kissed on, shown affection. If there's conflict in the house, the children need to see the resolution as well. Okay? They don't just need to see the arguing, the fighting, and all this stuff. They need to see the resolution so they know how to handle conflict. Otherwise, all they know how to do is just get mad, but they don't know how to resolve all that. You know what I'm saying? So you're creating this this human being that grows up to be so dysfunctional and discombobulated and sometimes just an emotional mess and a wreck because you didn't raise them with the intention to let them go. You wanted to control every move. You wanted to make them do this, make them do that, make them believe this, make them believe that. And single mothers have a bad habit of projecting emotionally onto our sons. He is not your man, okay? I know a lot of older men that are struggling in relationships right now simply because they had mothers who committed emotional incest. She connected herself to them or to him too much to the point where he don't know how to truly feel for anybody else other than his mother. Good women can come and go in his life and he not even realize it because subconsciously, hey, I got my mommy. As long as my mommy love me, that's all I need. Stop saying that like that. Okay, if you raise your sons like that, you say that over and over and over, it's sending a subliminal message, and it just soaks into your subconscious. And typically by the age of 5, your subconscious is set. Okay, unless you consciously change those patterns of thinking. Whatever's in your subconscious mind, okay, not your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, whatever is there, that's where your decision making comes from. So this man who his mother emotionally made her man, you know, the pride she had in him was the pride that you would have in your boyfriend. The, you know, the pictures they take, the trips they take, this, the whole dynamic between her and her son is like a woman and her man, actually, okay? It's just not sexual, but on the emotional level, it's the same thing. She got his mind, so he can't even process other women. He can't even understand what's even coming at him because mommy's in his subconscious mind that all you need is me, okay? All you need is me, baby, all right? So he don't have a problem letting them good women walk away from him. He don't have a problem, you know, not being accountable for not taking care of his children because mommy's already programmed him a long time ago that I can do these things if I want to, but I don't have to really be accountable, and I don't have to because no matter what, mommy loves me, okay? You are supposed to have a knowing that your parents love you and care for you, but not in that manner. So let me give you a good example. I heard of parents, a mother and a father, of a man in his 40s. Say to him, I was told that they said to him, you know, he's going through a lot in his relationships because there's a very unhealthy attachment with him and his parents, you know. He was the only child that they have together, so, you know, I don't know. Mom just kind of, instead, you know, dad worked a lot, so wasn't home, so she projected all of her emotions just went into the son. He was around, closest male, so all those emotions that really was for the father was projected onto the son because the father was always gone, okay? So, you know, not right now, this man is struggling in his relationships to really see women for who they are and not through the lens of this film that the mother has created over his eyes because she wants to be his everything, all right? They say to him, your pain is our pain. And this person is in their 40s. Let me tell you something. No duck, get ain't. Okay? My oldest son is 23 years old. My son after that will be 20 soon, in a few weeks. I have a 15-year-old daughter, 10-year-old son. There's no way in hell, especially my oldest two, okay, that I would tell them, son, your pain is my pain. Because it ain't. Okay? Now, my youngest ones, that's under 18, my pain is still their pain. However, I still have to sit back and watch them go through certain things because that's just obviously part of their journey. My job as a mother is to love and support my children unconditionally, love them unconditionally, and support them. Let me change that because I don't support everything. Do what you will, but I, you know, some things I'm with, some things I'm just like, okay, do that, but I'm not supportive of it, but okay, you know, do you. That is our job, all right? But it is not our job to enmesh our paths and our journeys with our kids. You don't know what your child's destiny truly is. You know what I'm saying? Unless you are an astrologer and you know how to read natal charts and things like that, which I do. And I actually, you know, and I know the birth times of my children. I have not even sought to really look at their birth charts because lightweight is not my business, honestly. But unless you know all those things, you cannot share a person's pain. How do you know, like, when your son is in his 30s and he's going through this whatever, it might be a painful situation. But how do you know that's not a part of his journey, though? But you can't get in the way of that. You're supposed to see your child, your son, your daughter go through this hard time. Let them know, hey, if you need anything, I'm here for you. Mom loves you, and I believe you're going to come out on top. I am believing that you are going to fix this. I believe that you are going to make the right decisions. I believe you're going to know what to do when. I believe you're going to know when to pull back. I'm going to believe in you to come out of this. In the meantime, I love you. Okay? That's it. But as far as making that my pain, hell no, it's not. Mama got enough. Okay? You in your 30s. Mama has had enough pain, including the pain it took to get you here. I don't share your pain in that manner. I sympathize with your pain. I can give you direction. I can give you guidance based on my experience. Okay? But I'm not going to tell you this is the way it has to be, because it may not have to be like that for you. All right? That is the stance you should take. All right? But to just totally enmesh in your children and everything, especially after a certain point in life, they're over 30 and you still think that no, that is, you have crossed a severe boundary right there. Okay, somewhere along the lines you got something mixed up and you started thinking that your son was your man and you held him accountable. You're holding him accountable, for an emotional relationship with you, and then you let him know if he doesn't do it the way you want him to do it, or she doesn't do it the way, I'm gonna cut you off this family. You're not, you don't, excuse me? No. It's called emotional incest, okay? There's a tarot reader that I follow. Her name is Professional High Priestess on YouTube. If you get on YouTube and you're a mystic and you enjoy those type of things and that type of guidance, go take a look at Professional High Priestess, because she broke down emotional incest so tough in a way that just blew my mind. And I'm just so glad I got that piece of information, and I realized, like, a lot of our men are struggling. They are struggling bad, and a lot of it's because their parent, or mostly a mother. There was a mother somewhere who crossed a boundary. No, you didn't touch on your son sexually. You didn't molest him like that, but emotionally you molested him. Yes, because he can't figure out his emotions outside of you. That is not healthy. That is so dysfunctional and so mentally ill. I don't even know what to tell you. Okay. I'm not taking selfies with my son. There's this, I know a woman, she takes pictures and sends them to her son. She sends selfies to her son every other day, every other week. For what? He knows what you look like. He knows what you look like. What are you doing that for? Okay. I mean, honestly, real talk, if you want to get down to it, that's some like black magic type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some mirror type stuff or whatever. Your son is good and grown, 30s, 40s. Why are you constantly sending him pictures of yourself? Send that to your man. Send them pictures to your husband. Don't send them to your son. What are you doing? Emotional incest. You're an abuser and it's disgusting. Please check yourself. Check your behavior, okay? That's not a healthy relationship, okay? So again, my single mothers especially, get a life, okay? Find some good mentors for your children. Excuse me. Especially your boys. Get them in sports. Get them, excuse me, in some kind of, if you go to church in some sort of whatever, just, because that's a whole other story right there, but just, they need to use your intuition. You, as a mother, you should know, okay? A lot of us moms, a lot of us women don't. We're losing that. I notice a lot of us women, we're losing that motherly instinct in this, especially this black community. Like, we on this love and hip hop stuff so tough that we're not being mothers anymore. Like, motherhood is just out the window. But get your sons around a male mentor, okay, that can stand in as a dad or pop or uncle or something, to while you figuring out your love life, okay, to bring in a good role model for your children, all right? And don't put your emotional baggage on your children, especially your boys. That's not your man. That's not your king. It's not your husband. He's your son. And you should be raising him with the intention to let him go into the care of another woman one day. You should want that for him, or into the care of another partner, whatever his sexuality, whatever, maybe he's gay, okay, whatever. But you still need to have the idea that you have to let him go. All right. There's moms that will say, okay, well, whose plate should be fixed first? I heard that question a lot. The kids or the husband or the boyfriend or whoever. Now, this is a man who's providing for you, or, he's complementary to your income. He's a good role model for your children. He works hard, he tries, he's educated, whatever. There's no abuse going on. You and this person, outside of regular everyday relationship issues, he's an all right guy. Okay? All right. He comes in from work. Okay? You got 3 kids. All right, let's say 2 of them are yours, 1 is his. All right? And maybe you got one on the way together. Okay? Seal that blended family. All right? That's what's up. So, who gets their plate first? A lot of women, especially women that have been single mothers for a long time, like I am, will say, oh, my kids, I gotta feed my kids first. Blah blah blah. My baby, I'm feeding them kids. They gotta get their plate first. And that's exactly why, if you don't change that attitude, you're gonna lose him. Okay? You, again, raise your children with the knowing that you have to let them go. This man has worked hard all day, or whatever he done did. He's a good guy. You feed him first. All right, this is your husband, y'all together. You can only become one with him. You can never become one with your children. Okay, and to be blessed. You cannot become one with your children. If you do, it's an abomination, of course. All right. And I am not one for, if you're looking at a person that likes traditional things, you may not want to watch this, because that's not me. When I say marriage, I'm also speaking of those that are living together. They may not be in a Western civilization contractual marriage, but they live together. They pay bills together. They have sex. They're raising kids together. To me, that is marriage. That is an agreement. All right. Not a contract, but an agreement. Big difference. All right. So, no, you feed him first. You can only become one with him. You can never become one with your kids. Your kids are going to have to grow up one day and leave you. All right, Mom? They're going to leave you. And if you have not given this man what he needed and constantly put these children before him, he's going to be gone too. And then who you going to be left with? Nobody. Okay? Or somebody else that's just you're unhappy with. But either way, it's going to boil down to the fact that your kids got to leave you one day. So you don't put all this stock in your children and didn't put any stock into him. And then when they grow up and leave you, now you don't know what to do with this man. And by then he just done with you. He wasn't important before. No. You put him first. You feed him first. Okay? And then you feed those kids next. That's how that goes. Period. Okay, no questions asked, hands down. I don't care what you say. All right, and I'm saying that, and I'm not married, but you feed him first, then you feed your children. No, it ain't. He gets what's left over. That's not how that go. Because again, this is the person that's going to still be there with you till you turn old and gray. Not those children. They have to go, and they're supposed to go. All right, they're supposed to leave you. That's life. All right, so I just really want us to tighten up on this. Please. Stop making your sons your boyfriend. Okay? Get out there. Get in the dating scene. Be careful, though. Be safe. There's some crazy folks out here. Understand mental illness is real. Take your time. Don't have anybody at your home. Don't have anybody around your children until you get to know them well enough. And then even at that, make it an outing. Don't bring nobody to your house, and don't let your kids see you having sex and all this stuff, and they don't even know this guy. Now, have I made these kind of mistakes before? Absolutely. That's how I know better. Okay? That's not the way you want to do that. All right, especially if you're truly interested in this person and you can see y'all having a family. He's with it. Started off well and appropriately. Because it's a challenge for single parents to find mates and getting the children to mesh with them. It's not an issue of, well, I can't be with you because my kids don't like you. No, there's a reason why they may not like that person. You need to pay attention. But if you gotta slow down enough to pay attention. And then on the other side, there's some kids that's just selfish. They don't want to see mom or dad when they're used to having you to themselves. They don't want anybody else to take their time. And then that's when you have to set your boundaries. Say, hey, listen, I'm an adult. I have needs. I want somebody just like one day you will. Okay, this is what it is. All right. And I'm expecting you to respect this person because this person's not going to harm you. This person is trying their best to be kind to you, and you will reciprocate. Period. Okay. But yes, can we please stop making our sons our boyfriends and our men? That's not a good look. And you are damaging these men severely. Severely. You're causing just as much damage committing emotional incest with your sons as if you had molested them sexually. The effect is the same. It really truly is. And it still breeds trauma. Okay? So let's stop doing that. Okay? Your son is not your man. He's not your king. He's not your prince. He's your son. Raise him like you're raising someone's boyfriend or girlfriend if it's your daughter. Raise him like you're raising somebody's husband. Raise him like you're raising somebody's father. Okay? And for you, get a life. Handle your own emotions. Don't project that onto your son, your children. Get the help that you need for you. Okay? And your emotions. But it's not his job to carry your emotions. It's not his job to make you feel great because you're a good mommy and you got him this and he wears these shoes and you're asking for your son to validate you. Okay, he grows older, he gets a girlfriend, now you all upset and you in her business and you stalking her and trying to figure what? Come on, man. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. That is a dysfunction on the parent's part, the mother. Okay? And any fathers that got that daddy-daughter thing going on and it's just two, she can't date. She's a woman. Raise her with the knowing that somebody's going to sleep with your daughter one day. Yes, they are. Yeah, we don't want to hear it because I don't like to hear that about my daughter. But one day somebody's going to get in there. Okay? They're going to want to marry that. They're going to want her to have that baby. Raise her with that knowing so that when he does come along or she meets him, he don't get no trash. He get a good, decent woman who knows how to raise her child, who knows how to be a wife, who knows how to be a girlfriend, who knows how to be a friend. You know, don't do that. Don't do that to your kids. Stop committing emotional incest.